Hello all of you lovely individuals, and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back in r/talesofneckbeard because I really am enjoying the positive feedback y'all guys seem to be having regarding the longer format storytime videos. No, they will not be the majority content going forward, but I do believe that just having them every once in a while, or every few days, or even like one, maybe 2 times a week is perfectly fine. So if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, because the engagement very much does help out the channel, and whenever videos do well because of the engagement, I feel more motivated to do more of that video. And if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. A stinky neckbeard has a good reason to be late. Hello everyone. This is my first time posting on Reddit, so not sure how to begin, but let's start with a little bit of background for the story. One of many, if there is interest. So, some years ago, from early 2013 to late 2015, I lived in a pretty well-known, in my country at least, home for teenagers with autism, for when living at home doesn't work anymore. I'm not going into completely describing my mental health, but let's just say I had explosive anger issues. Those almost 3 years were absolutely awful, and a lot of bad stuff happened there. There were also an enormous amount of, you guessed it, neckbeards. I will post many more stories here if interest is high enough, and trust me, the stories are wild. So, for this specific story, we go to the town of Oosterbeek, famous for the key location during World War II, the holier-than-thou smug people, and the autism heck hole. The cast: OP, me of course, about 18 to 19 at the time, the summer of 2015, still an angry dong, but not as bad when I first got there. An angry, depressed sack of fat starving for a fun weekly activity. The cool counselors, CC, one of the many counselors in that place, sharing an interest with most of the teenagers living there, like D&D and gaming. He was the only good counselor, but they were few. Stinkbeard, SB, one of the many neckbeards, but by far the stinkiest. Like most neckbeards, showering was optional for him, even in the hot summer, when his extreme body fat, worse than mine, made him sweat like a chunk of cheap cheese left outside of the fridge for 2 days. On one faithful morning, CC came up with the idea of organizing a weekly D&D group, which my depressed butt would immediately sign up for, along with SB, who was on his 7th slice of chocolate sprinkle-loaded bread. The D&D game themselves were pretty fun. Not a lot of cringe happened during these sessions. It was what happened between sessions that was the problem. When it was time for the first session, everyone was on time, with me and CC being early. SB would not show up himself, so me and CC went to go check on him. We knocked on the door to his room, and the smell already smellable through the closed door, but there was no answer. CC, being the counselor and being responsible for the teens, would open the door to check to see if something was wrong, and we were both punched in the face by the terrible smell of sweat, farts, rotting food, and dried up guy fluids. And there he was, the stinkiest of beards, completely naked except for his headphones, his ding-dong the size of a thumb in one hand, and his phone, which was showing a cartoon girl of questionable age in the other. Before I could vomit, CC quickly closed the door and told me to go to the conference room where he would have our D&D sessions. Needless to say, I told everyone present what happened, and it generated a lot of, in hindsight, pretty mean laughs. When SB would finally appear for our session, everyone looked at him with giant grins, holding in their laughter. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? CC, obviously knowing the answer to this question, why are you late, SB? We were all waiting for you. I was watching a movie and forgot the time. Well, did you at least wash your hands? We want to start. I know it sounds like an r/that happened thing to say, but yes, everyone burst out laughing. The rest of the day went pretty smoothly. I'm sorry if this first story seems quite mild after describing this heck hole the way I did, but trust me, there is a lot more to say about Stinkbeard and his many fellow beards. Please let me know if I should make a sequel or a story about another beard. I hope y'all died of cringe. Good night. One of the many reasons why locks are sometimes a very good idea. Holy Jesus. It probably was something along the lines of like the organization wasn't allowing people to have locks on their doors, something like that. But if that's the case, maybe you just shouldn't do it sometimes. But also, holy jeez, if you happen to have that much of a blast of odor that comes out of your room, I feel like you need more than just a general cleaning. A little bit of like a steam pressure treatment or something of the sort would be nice. Also, please, for the love of God, be taking care of yourself. These might as well be PSAs for good hygiene at this point. I hope the D&D sessions were fun, though. I know those can be pretty good. Neckbeard Stalker. When I was starting college in 2011, I formed a solid friendship group and threw myself into the social life. One guy in my block who always showed up to parties, but never spoke much to anyone, was the classic Neckbeard. Overweight, anime fan, lacking in social skills, combined with awkward attempts to be overconfident, he also never washed, wore stained gray clothes that he never changed, and had long, lanky, greasy hair, and was surrounded by a cloud of BO. It would enter the room before he did. Sorry if this description sounds unnecessarily mean. I wouldn't normally judge people by these things in themselves, but combined with his behavior since, it is frankly warranted. With regret in hindsight, I made the mistake of chatting with him at one of these parties, with the aim of being friendly and helping him get integrated into the group. From that moment, a switch flipped in him, and he began obsessively stalking me, which would go on for the rest of freshman year. He would try to isolate me at social events, talking to me for hours, and taking none of my cues that I wanted to bring it to a close. If I tried to lose him, he would find me. If I spent time with my actual friends, he would follow and force his way into the conversation, following me around like a wasp on a mission. If he saw me in public, he would give me this 1,000-yard, unblinking stare, even from a couple hundred meters away, and would come over. It got to the point that I felt I had some kind of tracker on me, because wherever I was, he would appear, even when leaving the campus library at 3 a.m. More than once at night, I looked through the spy hole in my door to the hall outside to see him stood there, staring intensely at my door. Obviously, there was seriously some creepy behavior. I felt hunted, I was frightened and on alert all the time, and I started to avoid going out of my room. I also started going to my folks a lot just so I could get out of town. My friends were worried about me, and a couple of them confronted him about his behavior and asked him to leave me alone. This did not go down well. His obsession turned to rage. Thankfully, he kept more of a distance, but he would still hang out in places he knew that I would be, staring at me, now intensely with hatred. He started telling everyone that I was his girlfriend and had dumped him in a horrible, cruel way. It made me question myself that a few people actually believed him. This continued into our sophomore year, and when he got close to one of my housemates and started turning up unannounced at our place. This friend believed the stories he was telling, and thought that I was being unfair in asking him not to bring this guy around to our house. He ended up stealing my mail, including a new bank card. I had no evidence that it was him, but I had so much stuff going missing, and I knew he was doing this. I also once found him in my bedroom. That was the last straw, and my roommate finally accepted that this guy had been lying. When I moved away, the in-person stuff stopped, but then he started cyberstalking me, trying daily to hack all of my accounts that he could find. This continued, though to a lesser extent, for a period of 3 years. But since then, everything seemed to die down, and I thought that it was over. I recently found his blog, where he writes fantasy stories about our relationship, and calls me the love of his life. More than 10 years later, I feel sorry for him, but I am very disturbed by this. I hope that there's some type of solution that you're able to get done with this in the future. I don't know if it's gonna have to come down to, like, you putting him on blast on social media or anything, but I hope that something does happen to work out for you in the future, because holy crap, I used to be a legbeard. Hello everyone, I'm back and here to post a take of my own cringe. I've read a lot of I used to be a neckbeard stories, but as an F to M trans fellow, I wasn't a neckbeard, but a legbeard. Apologies for the bad formatting on mobile. The story starts out at the end of 6th grade, when I was a mere 11 years old. I began to get into anime, mainly Sailor Moon and Pokemon. Overall, I didn't get very cringy until I turned 12 and entered the 7th grade. I became obsessed with Pokemon, especially Pokemon X and Y. I was a, frankly, insane Clement fangirl. I memorized his lines, read the Y/N Wattpad fanfictions, shipped my self-insert with him, and even shouted his lines from the anime in the hallway at school. To add to this, it was around the time I stopped caring about my hygiene. I never washed or brushed my hair, and on the rare occasion, I did shower, and I'd only stand in the water and rinse off. To hide my stench, that was definitely there. I'd simply use way too much perfume. It's a miracle that the other kids only made fun of me for my hair and not anything else. Of course, I whined that people were bullying me because I liked anime. Not because it was because I would Naruto run in the hallway, ask my classmates and even teachers to read my horrible self-insert fanfiction, and was overall cringe. This got worse in the 8th grade. I found out about DDLC, Doki Doki Literature Club, as well as High School DxD. Definitely not the best things for a 12, almost 13-year-old to get into. I behaved like a horrible combo of Yuri and Rias, would stick my chest out to make it look bigger, and would write and exchange poems with a similar edgelord friend of mine. This part gets bad, so TW for mentions of SH and redacted. Yeah, that one. I romanced the ever-loving Dookie out of self-redacted and that one. I ended up doing it frequently. I'd come to the conclusion that it's likely the result of undiagnosed depression and anxiety. But that didn't stop me from doing it in class and getting angry at my friends for being concerned. I also turned every string or rope I found into a noose. I'm still glad my parents never found them. After my DDLC era ended, I got really into a mobile anime rhythm game I found called Girls Band Party. I would sing the songs, which were in Japanese, loudly in the hallway at school, and brag that I knew Japanese. I wanted to start a girl band and specifically wanted to be the bassist. I ended up getting a bass for Christmas, which I still play occasionally now, though definitely not good enough to be in a band. Overall, I was the cringy, I'm so edgy and depressed kid, as well as the, I'm not like those other girls, I like anime and don't wear makeup and have 5,000 boyfriends. And now, here's where it gets juicy. My mom was finally fed up with my poor hygiene, and she cut my hair, made me shower properly, and taught me to shave my legs. I'm grateful for her for this, because I know I wouldn't have done it on my own. Now that I felt better about myself, I began to start thinking about boys. Unfortunately, I was a self-proclaimed yandere, and my crush was a poor nerdy boy who was fairly popular and didn't hesitate to call me out on my BS. Didn't stop me from stalking him all the way up until the end of 8th grade, even going to the point of joining the same club as him, and even finding out what bus he rode. Now, after I gave up on him, I ended up getting a boyfriend who I was with for 2 months before we broke up due to me beginning to question my gender. I had a cringy moment in 9th grade, but none are notable enough to add here. My advice to all of you is to just take care of yourself and don't become too obsessed with things like I did. I'm fairly certain a lot of us can remember a time where, yeah, we were kinda weird when it came to fandoms. And if we're able to grow out of those phases, then I think that definitely that's a good step forward, very much so. Is it bad to enjoy anime? Heck no. No, I still enjoy it from time to time myself. I go to conventions a lot. Are there sides of pretty much every fandom that are not exactly the healthiest? Yes, 100% so. But if you can recognize what is the good parts of something, and then you can also recognize the bad parts of something, you can definitely get rid of the bad stuff and work on still enjoying the good stuff. That's 100% sure. One of the things regarding anime I'm glad has changed is I'm glad that it's actually become more mainstream because, yeah, now people aren't getting bullied just for liking anime. I mean, yeah, and having like a t-shirt or something, but at least back when I went to high school, that was something you got bullied over, but now it doesn't happen like that anymore. Things have changed a bit, and for the better. Just a little rule of thumb though, don't try to scream like you're about to go Super Saiyan 3, that just gets people concerned. It's not really something to flex. More so that'll just get people concerned and asking if you're alright. But with that is going to have to be with the video. Yes, I know this is kind of one of the shorter ones of the storytime format videos, but I've done a lot today, so I'm a little tired, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of an R&R session for myself, watch some movies, listen to music, all that stuff. And I hope you guys do that too for yourself too. Treat you guys self nice, and I hope I get to see you guys in the next one. You guys have a wonderful night. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.